BRB UK. Worse teeth, better accents.
Hello, and indeed, ahoy hoy. Welcome one and all, 'tis episode 592 of BRB UK. I'm Dan, I'm one of your hosts. Hello, good evening for those of you joining us live in the sweaty enclave that is YouTube, I suppose, or Twitch maybe, or both. I think we're on both at the same time. I don't know how the modern internet works. It's incredible. Here's a man who knows vaguely how the internet works. He thinks it's a series of tubes put together with sticky tape. It's Tim Hibbs. Hello.
Is that?
And here's a man who actually knows how the internet works. It's Coleman. Hello, Coleman.
Hi. I should do. I set the damn thing up. Not the internet.
Did you? The whole
this
internet.
podcast.
The whole internet. That's what he did.
The simulcast.
He travelled back in time to 1960-something, set up ARPANET. That's what he did. That's what Coleman did. He made the internet. You heard it
Dang,
here
I set up Skynet by accident.
It's all your fault, Coleman. All your fault. How's your week been, chaps?
Yeah, busy.
Busy?
Busy.
Busy.
Busy? I think mine's been busy as well. Is this all because we are living the middle-aged life that we lead?
Yes.
Yes,
Yeah,
and
work kind of kicks my ass this week.
But this isn't a middle-aged grumblecast. No, sorry, Bob. It is, it's a middle-aged gaming cast, so it's slightly different. Not that different. And apparently, according to Spiky Chris, we are a series of tubes as well. Not sure that makes any sense whatsoever.
Face is a series of tubes.
Well, technically, there are quite a lot of tubes in your face.
Whoops.
Yes, and I said Dan is the best. Thank you. Right. We probably ought to think a little bit about what we done played this week, because we have done played some stuff, and I think I shall go last because mine can be done relatively quickly. I think. But Tim, what I want to hear about from you is little kiddies, big cities.
Big city. Okay, well, this is
and the lady kitties, they have 6 titties. It's true.
Okay. All right.
They do.
Good.
And it alliterates.
Yes, good. Not as many as pigs, but still. But yeah, this is a rare occasion where I've actually completed a game before coming on the podcast and talking about it, even though it came out this week. So, yeah. So
Naruto Avatar on the Xbox 360.
No, but that does
Solitaire. You completed Solitaire.
To the fact that, the game isn't necessarily the longest. Like when I say I've completed it, I've completed the main story, all of the quests, and got all of the hats, which are kind of the main things in the game. But going back to it,
what kind of game is this?
Yes. Little Kitty, Big City is a game that came out on various formats, but I've been playing it on Game Pass on Xbox this week, through Game Pass on Xbox. But it's also out on Nintendo Switch, Xbox One, and PC. It's a very cute, cozy little game based around, and the kind of story starts off with you're a cat sunbathing on your favorite perch outside your human's apartment when you slip off and fall, grab onto a crow, get carried away from kind of where your home is. And the major setup is that you don't have enough energy to make the long climb back up to your apartment, basically. So you need to go around the city, eat some fish so that you've got more energy to climb. And each fish that you eat gives you an ability to climb a bit further. And then I think there's only like 4 fish in the city that you need to eat. And once you get all 4 of them, you can then climb back up to your apartment. But in doing that as well, there's various other quests that you can go around town. There's some kind of portals that a tanuki opens up for you. Not a raccoon, but a bit like a raccoon. But he makes a point of saying that he's not quite like a raccoon. But he kind of opens up the like sewers, and then you can use them to fast travel around the city. But to do that, you need to catch and release. That's important. But you need to catch and release birds that then give you a feather, and then you can use those to power up the city. There is a power up the portals. There is a in-universe explanation for all this, but it's a bit crazy.
Oh, an
and I'll leave it
in-universe
to the game,
explanation.
basically.
Yes, so there's a deep story undercurrent to this. I'm hoping.
There's some very silly stuff, and the game is generally like very humorous. I really did like the humor in the game. I would say it lends itself better, and this is we said when this was announced on I think a Nintendo Direct that this appealed to me more because I am a recent cat owner, and I think it will appeal to you
more. Now they're
more.
your identity.
Yes, and I think but it will appeal to you more if you're just aware of cats and their general behaviors and their general kind of tendencies to do things. But there's some funny stuff that you can do just in the environment, like bothering humans. Like you can kind of knock them over so they drop their sandwich, so you get their bread, so you can use that to help you catch birds. And kind of like
I did that in central London.
Yes, yeah, I've seen you do that before. Just knock over business, steal their sandwiches.
That's what Coleman does to actual people. He just lamps people, nicks only the bread of their sandwiches.
Yeah.
No,
leaves them
leaves them holding a
hard
slice of ham.
And go, oops, like in that obnoxious kind of way.
Because I kind of got the feeling, seeing some of the trailers of this, that I almost felt like there was a little bit of an untitled Goose Game vibe, but it seems it doesn't really overtly lean into a cat being a bit of a pillock.
No, there is a little bit of that. There's a similar style of humor, I'd say, and also a similar kind of, you can mess with the humans. Like you also want to be stroked by them and stuff as well, and that's one of the like quests that you can do.
Does that in Trafalgar Square as well.
Being stroked by 10 humans, and then there's various different various different interactions with the thing. I'm kind of not wanting to spoil everything that's in the game, basically, but there's some like fun interactions with the other humans. There's some fun interactions with the other animals that you encounter throughout the environment, particularly some of the other cats. And they generally help train you things. You are a kitty rather than a cat, but you're a older kitty, young cat type thing.
Kitty.
So again, that kind of fits into my cat because she's a similar sort of age to my cat, I think, basically. And yeah, like there's some really really fun animations and like just little things and behaviors that the cats do that you're encouraged to do through the quests and the various sort of things you want to tick off a list out of things to do in the game, but you're encouraged to do, and that makes you behave more like a cat, basically. And yeah, like it's a really fun game. It's not the longest game. I would say I'm about 5 hours in, and that's, as I said, done most of the quests and most of the things, got most of the amusing hats that you can wear. You can wear various stupid little hats of like other animals, like tigers. Or vegetables, fruit and vegetables feature a bit as well, and various other little things. But they're all quite funny. They're amusing to put on and stuff like that as well. And yeah, like I enjoyed my time with the game. I'm glad I didn't pay the £21 to £22.5 for it. I think it's a very good Game Pass game. It's slightly more difficult to recommend for the price, given that once you have played through it, and there's probably up to an hour's other gameplay that I could probably do just to finish off everything in the game. There's a few like hidden quests, so I'm not entirely sure exactly how long that would be, but just as a guesstimate from what I've got left. So it's probably about 6 hours all in. And I really enjoyed my time with the game. And if you got access to it on Game Pass, especially if you're a cat owner, I definitely recommend it. But I'm not sure I would recommend it for the price that it's being sold for elsewhere. I would possibly wait for it to be on sale for maybe half that amount, basically, if you were going to be purchasing it. But I really enjoyed my time with it. I really liked the humor. I think the narrative writer on the game is English as well, and I don't know how much that necessarily relates or comes across in the game, but I did particularly get on with the humor, and I don't know if that's a British sense of humor. It's set in Japan, and there's some kind of things that allude to that necessarily, but there's nothing that is particularly massively Japanese about it, I would say. I think the style of humor is a bit, apart from the setting. I would say the humor is a bit more kind of British-based humor. But I as I said, I really enjoyed my time in the game. I'm glad I played it. But yeah, like that comes with a couple of caveats. But I had fun. I think you'd like it as well, Dan.
I think I've been kind of my I think this might be the gateway drug for my wife to finally play games.
Ooh.
Is what I'm thinking. This is part of my dastardly plan.
So, a couple of things about this game. While I was doing getting all the notes ready for the show, I did notice on their website they've got 13 members of staff listed and 2 cats. So
excellent.
Nice.
Take that as what you will. I've been prepping for this game. I have bought Frodo a cowboy hat, so I feel like I'm ready for this game.
I want to see if he's anything like Hobnob. He will actually claw your arm off if you try and put said hat on him.
No, he kind of ran away
the biggest
from it
fan
at
of
first.
hats. Yeah.
I've managed to get the hat on him, taken a few photos, and then he took it off in like one swift motion that I was actually kind of impressed with that he did. The other thing was, you mentioned the Tanuki with the portals.
Yeah.
I've seen a screenshot of this and I didn't realize that was a real part of the game, and I'll tell you for why. Have you seen this portal between Dublin and New York, the installation that's going around? Yes. Big circular
people
portal.
Were showing pictures of potatoes and their asses and other parts of their body.
Is it? Hang on. Is it a webcam? Is that what you're describing? A webcam?
Yeah, but a large scale.
But it's still a webcam.
Place.
It's just a gussied up Logitech webcam, mate. It's not an interdimensional portal between 2 corners of the planet. They need to check themselves. They're absolutely getting above their station, calling it a bloody portal. Anyway, that's my rant out the way.
Right. It's a big circular screen. It's made to look kind of like a Stargate type thing, and very high caliber webcams to show a very clear image, so it looks like a portal from one side to the other. It's a nice little installation. It's a cute thing that immediately got ruined by people in Ireland showing pictures of 9/11 to people in New York. And then nudity and stuff started. So I think they've actually shut it down now. And
this is why we can't have nice things.
I think, yeah.
Yeah, I saw a video of the launching of the portal, and someone had like chromed out the screen and put like a raccoon dancing and playing like bango, bango, bango. And I saw that and I was like, that's funny. Within probably half an hour, I was on X, and the Little Kitty Big City account put a screenshot of the Tanuki up in the portal, and I was like, bloody hell, they're quick. They're quick to jump on that. I did not realize it was part of the game. I thought it was like very quick viral marketing.
No, it kind of makes sense. It is in keeping with the game, but yeah. But yeah, as I said, it's definitely a good human game, good fun time, good cozy game, and I had fun playing.
And it seems like they've done quite well. It may well be there's overlapping demographics here, or almost certainly is. But apparently it seems that at one point they were actually the #1 bestseller on the Nintendo of America digital store. So that's a pretty big achievement. So well done.
It'd be good fun on the Switch as well, I think, even though I played it on a big screen. But
yeah, the majority of the reviews out there are for the Switch, so that seems to be I'm assuming that's what the majority of review codes are going out for, is the Switch.
Right.
Yeah.
What's next?
I think we should make Tim do another one.
Oh,
okay.
I think we should, because this is from Wazda.
Yes.
Or Wazda.
It's one that I realised in retrospect that I forgot to speak about on our Wazdy special. So I just wanted to mention it because I really enjoyed it. It was actually my favourite game up until I played
It was that good
The
you
Last
forgot
Spartan.
about it.
And then I completely forgot about it. So I wanted to mention it because it was fun,
it?
and I think our listeners particularly might gravitate towards it. It's a kind of cutesy game, but it's one called Slopecrashers. It's coming for PC, Xboxes, Nintendo Switch, and Mac. It's coming out in Q3 of this year. It is a cutesy snowboarding game with like little characters, so you might be like a penguin on the snowboard and stuff. But it kind of played a bit like a slightly lighter version of SSX Tricky meets Mario Kart. And a good combination thereof, basically. So you've got like kind of weaponry pickups that you can pick up in the environment and do stuff.
Pickups you can pick up. Amazing.
Pickups you can
what
pick
will
up.
they think of next?
And like, kind of speed boosting kind of things you can go over, and tricks as you're going over slopes and stuff like that. And yeah, that played really well. Coleman and I played that multiplayer. And I really enjoyed that, and I think that's going to be a fun game. So that's one that I'm putting on my radar for later this year, basically.
I have a question.
Yes?
Can I be a snowboarding capybara?
Yes, I believe so.
I'm sold.
Yep.
I'm sold. Game of the year. Game of the year.
Yep.
Game of the year. Right. Yep. Game of the year.
I didn't get along with it so well, and I think there's some. I think they need to implement some kind of hidden barrier type systems like you would in a Mario Kart, so you don't get stuck in certain things. There was tubes that you were snowboarding through, and one slightly wrong turn, and you were just constantly going round and round and round and round it, and it was starting to screw up my eyes with all these moving colors and things going on. But yeah. After I played it, the developers was like, "What do you think?" I went, "Yeah, I like the idea. Cool borders meets Mario Kart. It's a good idea. Needs some work though." And he was like, "Yeah, good. There we go. We did it."
Yep.
Awesome. So, thank you. You've reaffirmed me this being a meaningful job for me until Q3 2024. Thank you. It needs more work. See, I can continue showing up.
I'm terrible at talking to developers, which is always great when you wear a press pass because they just want to know what you think, what you're going to write about, what you're going to talk about, what you're going to tell the public.
Just tell them all you hate games, Coleman. That's fine.
I was like, I love this. This is my favorite. This is my game of the year, game of the show, game of every game. Every game is my game of the show.
My favorite game on the Citadel.
Hopefully they leave me alone.
This is the best game I've just played.
And I'll say IGN, and they will leave me alone. Dan, what have you been playing?
I have dipped back into Diablo 4 because it's got a brand new season. You're thinking, brand new season, big whoop. But they've actually, in kind of breaking from tradition with Diablo 4, there isn't really like a big kind of plot beat aside from there's kind of this group called the Iron Wolves. You got to go and help them kill some monsters. There's no kind of like big like MacGuffin you've got to go and interact with like with previous seasons. And the reason they've done that is because they've actually overhauled pretty much all of the major game systems. And this is called, I believe, like the Season of Loot or something like that.
Must be the season of the loot.
And they have really, well, to put not too fine a point on it, it's kind of like, what were a lot of the problems with Diablo 4? Was it that it wasn't very much like Diablo 3? Yes, possibly. So we should make it more like Diablo 3. It should be fun. There should be more ridiculous, slightly overpowered builds, and it should be a bit more hilarious. And they have, frankly, kind of managed to nail that a little bit. But one of the other things as well is they've really sorted loot out. It was kind of very complicated and very, very situational, you know, whether or not the item you got would be any good. It would be a bit like, on the third Tuesday of a month, while standing on your head, you will do 15% bonus damage to undead minions. It's like, well, what? How does that? I can't. There's too much information there. Now they've kind of boiled down a lot of what they call affixes to simply does more damage or protects against this or does that. It makes a lot easier to get your head around. They've also taken kind of a lot of the pain points out of the way that kind of item bonuses were worked out. It used to be that you could kind of imbue an item with kind of an aspect of power that you could either get through a dungeon or get through disassembling a weapon. But you had to kind of keep all of these in your inventory. Now they've all moved to just one single place, and the best stat you get to drop is the one that sticks. So like the one you get off the get-go might be kind of a relatively low value for the range that's there, but rather than have to keep all different flavors of it with slightly different percentages that you may or may not want to add or not add onto different things, it now just stays with you. It's kind of account-bound, this kind of single item upgrade, which is a great way to do it. They've added in like extra so that's tempering, I believe. There's also like masterwork systems as well. I haven't played enough to unlock that yet. But there's also finally item trading too. That was one of the things that a lot of people were missing from Diablo 3, with the caveat that if you can't trade any items you've adapted or upgraded, and I think it is literally you just kind of do a direct request person to person of, hey, I've got this thing, do you want it? What will you give me in return? And just do a deal that way. Yeah, I mean, I've sunk about probably 2 and a bit hours into it so far. Really enjoying it. Really loving what they've done with kind of the gameplay loop. Makes it a lot more engaging. Kind of an event called Hell Tides is now kind of omnipresent throughout all of the world tiers. So really, really good way. The way they've structured it is kind of like escalating difficulty. The more enemies you kill, the more difficult it gets. But it is like kind of a massively multiplayer arena. So, you know, you're often collaborating with other players, trying to take down the same big bads, the same big bosses. And the loot you get from it is a lot more rewarding as a result too. So, yeah, really, if you have kind of put down Diablo 4 and like, not sure it's for me, this is actually a really worthwhile update to it. Really has made the game more fun, more enjoyable, really kind of what people would want from it compared to its slightly self-serious initial kind of incarnation with kind of vanilla Diablo 4. So yeah, really, really impressed with it. It is on Game Pass, of course. So if it sounds like something that might be of interest to you, and you have an Xbox or PC, you can dip into that with Game Pass, I believe. So yeah, really worth checking out again.
I have a question, Mr. Dan.
Yes!
Where have you been playing it?
I've been playing it both on Xbox and PC, depending on what is currently on.
And
in his house.
Does it work on deck? On your massive...
No,
I've got it on... it will work on deck. I've got the Blizzard flavor of it, so there's some jiggery pokery to do, but it will run fairly well. I think you can, if you put all the settings on low, it'll stick to a fairly solid 30-40 frames a second.
Doesn't sound entirely encouraging.
Potato Diablo.
No, but it looks all right. It does look all right.
What's wrong, Tim? Haven't you got a mobile phone?
Wow.
You could be playing Diablo Immortal.
You could.
No thanks.
I mean, it runs perfectly fine on the deck. Obviously, it's not going to look anywhere near as nice as on a fully fledged PC. Insert Coleman whinging here.
What are you talking about?
As soon as I mentioned PC,
I said nothing. I never said anything like that.
Conveniently forgetting the absolute ton of money you've just dropped on yours. Thank you very much.
Allow me to introduce you to the PC Master Race.
All of those, except a little bit less like Dame Edna Everage, which is, you know, Coleman's own version of the PC Master Race.
I refuse to play games unless they run at 120 frames a second minimum.
Are you quite done?
Never.
Mm-hmm.
I'll do this again next week.
Diablo
we do this
4,
weekly,
worth checking
Dan. I
out
don't know
again.
if you noticed.
What?
I said we do this weekly. I don't know if you noticed.
Yeah, I try and just chalk it up as a fever dream or something.
I'm sure we've announced that Diablo was going to be on Game Pass, but I did not realize it was on Game Pass. And
we do this every week, Coleman. You should pay attention.
I know.
It's not like
I've been looking for
it twice or anything.
I've been looking for a reason to go, because I've not had Game Pass for like a year now, and I've been looking for a reason to go back into it. And I was like, I really want to play Starfield now. The big super patch has come out, and it runs at 60 on the X, and I have an X.
Maps in it.
I have yet to play a game on the Series X since I bought the Series X months ago. And I thought, oh, now I can. Now I've got an excuse to play Starfield, but I don't want to get Game Pass just for Starfield. When I was Diablo, so.
Yeah, I really need to dust off Starfield at some point. I fell off hard from that game, I have to say.
I liked it as well. I didn't regret stopping playing
It's
it.
fine.
When are they going to put Garfield in Starfield? That's the question.
Things that alliterate, Tim, that's not how it works.
It comes
New
out, super
movies
fans
coming
are
out,
into
it
it,
could
and
work.
then it keeps interest because of modding and all that kind of stuff. Is Coleman using Tim's investment theory for Game Pass? No, I just don't want to get Game Pass for one game. It seems a bit silly. You can't have the Netflix of games and only play one single game.
Although you could make an argument. You could make an argument that that if you could just go month to month, it's probably cheap. If you're fairly sure you're going to get through the game in that month, it's cheaper to do just a single month Game Pass to enjoy that game and then move on.
Could also get Little Kitty Big City played in that time as well.
You certainly could.
Yeah, I mean, there's an actual cat I could put hats on rather than the virtual one, and the new one might get annoyed. The current one might get annoyed about the virtual one. Yeah,
My cat
that does sound like some internet gold that needs to happen. I'm
to
not gonna
face
lie.
the TV when they heard the cat noises going on. It's quite funny.
Yeah, there is so the man called Rick was playing a Final Fantasy game that has a cat character in it that meows a lot, and the cat was freaking out a bit when we first started playing that. So yeah, it does happen. I've got a bit of a PSA for everyone. If you are a PC
prostate-specific antigen, really?
Yes, Dan. If you are a PC gamer and you don't subscribe to Humble Choice, which I was, and then I stopped because their headline game was Saints Row, which is I've already bought and been given.
That's not a headline.
So I didn't need another copy of that. I went back to it because the May Humble Choice includes a little game called Hi-Fi Rush. Now, I don't know if you've heard of Hi-Fi Rush, but it's from some studio called Tango Gameworks.
They don't exist.
One of the Bethesda studios. And I tell you, this game is talented and up and coming, and I can't wait to see what comes next from because this game is amazing.
Have I got some bad news for you, Coleman?
Really?
Oh, no!
God. Bloody worst
I don't mean
segue.
to make light of their information of the news.
I mean, we did last week, and we are again. So yeah. Anyway,
yeah. I was just because I played this when it came out, but I played it on Xbox Cloud and streamed it to the mobile and all that kind of stuff, and it's on Game Pass at the moment. But I played it on streaming and went, I like it, but I'd rather play this on the Steam Deck or give it a try on the Steam Deck. But I did, what Game Pass and many other subscription services tend to do for video games. I went, I'll wait till it's on another service because I'm not paying £27 for this game or £30 for this game. So I waited and
that studio went under. Shut the studio. That's why.
That's
why. That 30 quid would have made the difference.
How many times has it been uttered on this specific podcast? Hey, I'll wait till it comes to Game Pass. I'll wait till it comes to PlayStation Plus.
Never.
You've probably said more than anyone else.
No, they still get revenue from it. You're like, on the other hand, I am going to withhold money from this lovely publisher.
Yeah. I did, and I feel bad for it. I feel bad that I did that. But this came to Humble
I know it's
Choice.
on Game Pass, Kev.
I feel like Kev said it's on Game Pass. I feel like I should have.
So you had several opportunities to actually cut these developers some money before they went under, and you turned your nose up at it.
Yeah,
that's what you're saying.
Yep.
Wow.
Well, no, what I wanted to say is because we spoke about this game very briefly and then I didn't really go back to it. And now, because of Humble Choice, and I tried it out on the Steam Deck just to see how it works phenomenally on the Steam Deck. And I absolutely adore this game. This is a rhythm hack and slash game where you have to do which there's a few of these around, hack and slash shooter, first-person shooters, all kinds of different games that require you to move to the beat, which is a great little thing in theory, but then after a little while you play it and it's like, wow, the music's repetitive, I'm getting bored of doing this.
I have the rhythm of an epileptic, that kind of stuff.
That doesn't seem to happen with Hi-Fi Rush. It's so well done. So you attack in time with the beat, you do your combos in time with the beat, you jump, you dash, like everything in time with the beat, and it's done like a point system. If you don't do that, you don't get as many points. It's harder to unlock things, but still very doable, very playable. And the soundtrack on this is phenomenal.
Oh, it's a banging soundtrack.
It's amazing, this game. And it's done in this kind of cartoon style that they switch between. There's 3 different points. So it's like the gameplay itself, the in-engine cutscenes, and then the animated cutscenes. And all of them look amazing. But yeah, this thing runs so well on the Steam Deck that this is what I want in a Steam Deck game. This is what I want in handheld games. I want a handheld to run like my home console. And when I play a game, I can't tell a difference between it. I want that experience on the go, or sitting on the sofa or whatever. And this is it. Like it's so good. But anyway, it was just more of a PSA to go, hey, if you don't subscribe to Humble Choice, what is it, $6.99, $7.99? It's very cheap.
And there's also Yakuza Like a Dragon on that as well. King of Castle is another great game. So it's a good month on Humble.
They tend to do like 6 to 8 games each month, and Like a Dragon, it works phenomenally on the Steam Deck as well. And that's now added to my collection of Yakuza games on my Steam Deck that I keep telling myself I'm going to get through. However, I have not finished the first game.
You're never going to play the Yakuza games.
I'm never going to finish them all, but I'm going to keep going back to them every now and then.
No, Mr. Coleman.
Yes,
but just generally about how the humble choice thing works. Like, is it the case where once you've subscribed for that month, you get that game and then you can play that game even if you're unsubscribed from the service? Or is it like Game Pass where you have to keep paying?
No. So it's like every month there's like a collection of like 8 games, and you just can have Steam keys, or sometimes it's like Epic or GOG keys for them, and then they are forever in your digital library. You continue to own them. What you don't get if you only subscribe for a month would be access to everything that's gone before it. So if you unsubscribe, you don't get any of the new stuff and won't retroactively get granted it. So
right. Yeah.
So it's like you should.
But you can do like a one-off month subscription.
Yeah, you could do a one-off game. Oh yeah, because you've got a Steam Deck coming, haven't you?
Yeah. That's why I'm more interested.
Yeah, so it's very worthwhile. And there's, I'll send you a link to the channel when I remember what the hell it is, Tim. But there's a channel that on YouTube that will go. They'll put posts up every time the Humble Choice stuff is announced, and go, this is what plays well on a Steam Deck, whether it's worth having it this month or not.
Cool.
So,
and you do. It's a way to regularly give to charity as well.
Yeah,
Humble Bundle
that's
is always a charity thing.
Extra good.
But yes, Hi-Fi Rush. If you've not played it, you got another chance to go do it. It's really, really good. I absolutely love this game, and I can't stop playing it. And Kev mentioned in the comments that he's not a fan of the characters, finding them insufferable. I think the main characters are quite annoying, but I love all the bosses. There's a character called Raka, who's like your first main boss that you go up against, and she's basically like I think she's like head of production in this weird dystopian and Amazon version in the future, and she's like this gigantic 80s wrestling style East Asian
That's
woman
what I like, so.
Who's just insane. And and her boss fight is against 9 Inch Nails in the background. So it's so good. I love this game. I'm really enjoying it. I was playing my Steam Deck and doing like bits every now and then, but this one I'm finding I'm playing this like on the tube and in my lunch break and at home. So it's made me kind of really get into playing my Steam Deck.
I mean,
more than I already was.
Yeah, I mean the song the track list for it is incredible. It's like Lonely Boy by Black Keys is in there, Invaders Must Die, Prodigy. You know, it's all kinds of just great.
Well, it opens to the Black Keys like, oh, I'm so sick of this song. But then everything else is an absolute banger.
You see, I like that song. I quite like that song.
I like that song, but it got overused in adverts, so therefore I get bored of it. Yeah. All right. Shall we move on to the news?
So another game
a little bit quicker than initially intended.
Let's.
So,
yes.
Did you guys happen to catch the announcement of Assassin's Creed?
Yes.
Shadows.
Yeah, I also watched the in-depth look behind the scenes thing that IGN did as well, basically, which gave some more information, which was quite good. Quite informative, actually. And between the trailer and that, I literally commented before this trailer went out when they announced the fact that it was coming. I commented on threads that, like, I don't know what they can do to get me on board for this. Like, I was interested in this years ago, but since I've played Ghost of Tsushima and Rise of Ronin, I don't know what they can do to get me on board. And then they showed this trailer and gave some more information. I was like, actually, I might be interested. I like what they've shown so far. I do need a bit more information, and I hope they don't Ubisoft the whole open world up too much.
They're gonna.
They're gonna Ubisoft.
Yes, and it's Assassin's Creed especially, where they're extra guilty of bloating their open worlds. But I like what they've shown so far. Obviously, we've only seen this trailer, which was a cinematic trailer. We haven't really seen gameplay so much. But the stuff they spoke about in that in-depth thing was like that you'll be able to switch between the two characters seemingly on the fly. Yes. Like, as in, like, you'll be able to sneak with the Shinobi. I forget her name.
Bob.
But
Jeff.
you'll be able to sneak, Jeff, the Shinobi, the female Shinobi called Jeff.
Jeff the Shinobi and Bob the Samurai.
Bob the Samurai. But you'll be able to, sneak with Jeff, and then all things kick off, get Bob out, and him and his mace can help club his way through things, basically. But yeah, no, I think he's and again, I can't remember the names, but the samurai was based on the famous black samurai who's an historical figure who we don't really know exactly what he did, and so they can have a bit of poetic license with that a little bit, I think. And then the female shinobi is based on the daughter of a historical character as well. So they've got some historical
also called
kind
Jeff.
Of setting. Yeah, Jeff Jr.
the First.
And Jeff Sr.
Daughter of Jeff the First, Jeff the Second. Born on the 1st of Jeff, Jeffy Jeff.
But yeah, I like what they've said so far, and I like what they've shown so far. I'm still a bit dubious, but I am more interested than I thought I would be, just based on what they were doing and having done this game about 10 years too late for my liking.
I mean, I think the problem is with Assassin's Creed trailers, it's very, there's often a massive gulf between what they're kind of things they're showing off and actually what you get to experience in game. But I mean,
Valhalla's a good example for that.
Yeah, absolutely. And, I like the setting. Maybe it's because I've just kind of finished binge watching Shogun, I think is probably part of it. And I bet you the the Assassin's Creed lot, I'm sure Ubisoft were like, oh, excellent, so glad they released Shogun. We better get on and release a trailer for the new Assassin's Creed we've set in a similar period in Japan.
I heard the Assassin's Creed one all like
I was wondering.
That did not go as quick as I wanted it to.
I was wondering exactly where this was set time-wise, though, because they talk about the Shogunate coming back in the
past.
So I'm guessing this is a very similar period to Shogun, where
so it'll be like early 1600s, probably.
Yes, but is this pre-America and Europe and stuff coming over? I'm guessing it is, because the period of Rise of the Ronin is set a bit later, so that's where there are more foreigners coming in. It's not just Portugal that's occupied or, is trading with Japan.
It's set in 1579.
Do you know what? Almost okay
so
right. Assassin's Creed, okay. They love a little bit of Catholic Church-related Templarism, right?
That is true.
Portugal trying to convert as much of Japan as they could have done to the Catholic faith. So it's almost certainly there's your angle to Assassin's Creedify this. There we go.
Yeah.
Boom. Boom.
Yeah. That all adds up.
Yeah. I'm just interested to see how this looks, because the Assassin's Creeds we've had on this current generation, the first one was a cross-platform. The second one was meant to be an expansion. The next two were expansions that were kind of spun out into full games or expandalones. And this is now the first proper one. I hate that
portmanteau, by the way.
I love expandalone. It caught on. I love that.
Yeah, it's okay.
But yeah, this is out on the 15th of November, PlayStation 5, Xbox Series X and S, PC, and something called Amazon Luna, which I've never heard of. I don't think it will catch on.
I don't think that really exists. I'm yet to see it in actual, I've heard it exists. I've never seen anyone actually playing it or actually or it existing anywhere in real life.
Just for giggles, I probably ought to give it a go in my browser, shouldn't I? Probably
yes,
should.
I reckon as soon as you play it, Dan, Amazon will announce that they're cancelling it.
No, you're confusing me with Coleman.
Oh, right.
Yeah,
okay.
we've, are we all Prime subscribers? You can try it out if you're a Prime subscriber.
I think most people are Prime subscribers, to be honest.
That's
fair then. Yeah. If you look on the Prime free games,
yes.
If you look on the Prime free games, then they usually add in these kind of a few Luna games in there each month to try out as well. I think Fallout 3 is one of them currently. So yeah,
all of the Fallouts were on there, I believe, to celebrate the Fallout of Amazon.
Something I've not done yet because I've been a bit busy, but I always like to do with stuff like this when a little flag goes off my head to how toxic is
have
the
flags in
internet
your head.
I like to see, because this one, you got a female Asian protagonist, you've got a black protagonist. I want to see what the horrible comments are online.
I've heard there are some.
Yes. I want to weep at humanity while I drink some red wine and reading.
Also, historically ignorant ones as well. So yeah, that's even better, because you can come at them with facts and make them look stupid. Which, is often the case with these things, but still.
How dare they besmirch the great name of Jeff the Second?
And Jeff Jr., a.k.a. Jeff the Third.
Once again, Assassin's Creed Shadows, that's out on the 15th of November. Probably be more expensive than the last one as it is a full-fledged game. Tim, you wanted to chat about Microsoft's announcement of the Proteus controller, which is something that was announced previous, but now it's more because there's an official partnership between the manufacturers and Xbox.
I thought it looked like a knobbly bad dragon.
But I thought it was interesting. I think we'd heard of it before, but I definitely hadn't. I hadn't seen images of it, and I thought it was just an interesting thing. It possibly comes under our gaming for good kind of banner as well. But I haven't. Yeah, I hadn't seen photos until this week of exactly how it works. It looks like an interesting device. I think it's quite expensive unless you need it. Because I think it was $200 and something, $250 or so.
I think it's $299 in the US.
Right. Okay. But yeah, I think it's $299.
Oh, sorry, $255.
No, I think you're right. I think it's $299, but it's discounted at the moment to $250 something or something.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
I mean, it is an incredible bit of engineering, though.
Yeah.
So for those of you who aren't watching, it's essentially like a series of spheres, each with a different controller element, like a stick or the buttons or something. Roundish cubes. There we go. Roundish cubes. We're going to go with roundish cubes, Tim.
Yeah. Okay.
The internet is a series of cubes.
Yeah. Roundish cubes that kind of fit together magnetically, and you can configure the layout of the controller whichever you like. And it's got handles that snap on as well. Or there is the aforementioned pseudo bad dragon long boy form. Which you can.
I like to play my games
fondle to your heart's desire.
Way.
So you can. The choice is yours. Length or girth is what you can do.
But yeah, modular controller, good idea. $255 at launch. Not so sure. But yeah,
can I have that noise again, please? Beautiful.
This has won some engineering awards before Microsoft decided to partner up with them, and I think the main thing now they've partnered is it works with Xbox and it has official Xbox buttons on it.
Yes, but I think I think one of the things, obviously, it's an accessibility thing, and that's the primary kind of reason behind it. But I think, yes, it seems expensive for what it is compared to a normal controller. But for us, we've kind of looked at and dealt with some of the stuff from Special Effects, and obviously when they're customizing controllers, that's for disabled gamers to be able to have access to gaming. That's a much more specialized thing, and that can cost a lot of money per thing. Whereas I think this is something that brings that price down and might be able to increase the range of people that could then afford to have an accessible controller. So I think from that side of things, yes, it is expensive for what it is in comparison to a normal controller, but compared to having to go to the expense of customizing a gaming setup, it's possibly a fair degree cheaper. So it's good in that regard, basically, I think.
And I really like the customizability aspect of it. And they've got a load of 3D printed parts that you can download and print out for different stick shapes and things like that. I mean, it is the ultimate customizable controller that can, you can configure to your heart's content, either to change how things are laid out or to actually help you interact with the games you want to play. So, I mean, the price is eye melting. I don't think we can deny that, but it is an incredible bit of tech.
Yeah. My eyes. I wonder if on the slight flip side, the slight downside of it, I wonder if there's capacity for a pro gamer or someone online to be able to modify this in a way that would make them essentially be able to cheat at a game, and how that kind of figures, and whether that it will be something you'll be able to notify of someone doing it. I don't know.
That's what people have speculated with the last Xbox accessibility controller and the PlayStation 1 as well. So, I mean,
to be honest, I'll take that if it means more people can enjoy games in a way that's good for them.
Yeah.
Now we just need a highly accessible 3D printer to print parts for this accessibility controller.
I mean,
are you going to make a dong for it, Coleman? Is that where you're going with this?
I want to put a massive donk on it. Right, lastly,
Ding
we
dong.
have got... so Tim's been excited about a little game called Marvel's Rivals, despite not being a fan of Overwatch. There's a Marvel version of Overwatch.
Not entirely
And
true.
this goes into a segment that I like to call More Reasons Why Coleman Does Not Like the Company NetEase. But it's come to light that influencers have been sent out to go and play the game of Marvel's Rivals and report back to it for their channels or podcasts or whatever they need to do. And there is a famous, now retired professional Overwatch player called Seagull. And on X, he revealed
Bobby
the
Seagull.
non-disparagement.
Seagulls can't play Xbox. Don't be.
Steven
Maybe with
Seagull,
that controller.
actually. But he revealed the non-disparagement clause in the contract, which prevented creators from posting negative reviews or even comparing it to competitors such as Blizzard's Overwatch.
I mean,
which has
such
been
a
taken
dumb move.
quite negatively.
I mean,
Yeah,
they've
well,
kind of,
with good
apparently
reason.
this is a massive own goal as well, because once they've kind of lifted that now, they've seen the error of their ways. But apparently it's actually quite good, genuinely quite good. And, you know, this is just some negative press they completely could have avoided. And it's just really a bit of a thing.
There's a problem with that, Dan. Now, you can't believe any of the people that are saying it's good. Because are they only saying it's good because they've been told they can't say it's bad? Like, who knows?
Dum, 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 dum. Yeah, I know.
Yes.
Tim's cottoned on.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
I just like the idea that people go to say like something quite negative about the game, and NetEase spring in and go, "No, you can't do that." Go, "Oh, I'm sorry, I thought this was America," and such South Park jokes.
Mm-hmm.
It looks good, but
the presence of
I like the art style. I like the fact they're including the Punisher. If I was gonna play one of these style of games, this would be the one to get me interested.
You're gonna play it. I know
possible.
you will.
I think I might give it a try,
Can I add something very quickly to the agenda?
No, go for it, mate.
It'll be nice and quick. Were you excited for the game from Ubisoft called The Division Heartland?
I forgot this existed.
I would say I had an air of detached ambivalence about it, but go for it.
All right, it's cancelled. All right, let's wrap up the show.
Good, sounds good to me. Next.
That's it. Let's wrap up. They announced in a financial report that the game's been cancelled so they can divert resources to other bigger opportunities such as X-Defiant and Rainbow Six.
Well, I hear X-Defiant is their new hotness that they want to put out there to go toe-to-toe with COD.
Yeah, it's something. I mean, Heartland was something that they were going to throw in. You know, that was something to aim for microtransaction markets, which is something that unless it's less the games of service and more the big multiplayer esports, that seems to be the way to focus that now.
Yeah.
So X-Defiant makes sense, I guess.
Mm-hmm. Is that it? Are we done?
That's
it.
That
are we moseying out? Is it time for me to remind you to buy my face? That's right. My face, you can buy it, albeit on a t-shirt or a face mask or a baby grow.
Eating my dust.
Terrifying combination that you can get my face on the baby grow, but you can. Which will also, I'm reliably informed by Spiky Chris, one of our listeners, you can put on a cat. So you could have my face on a baby grow on a cat. It will be the most amazing thing ever. You can make your dreams come real by going to tpublic.com/store/BRB. That's your gateway into making that wonderful thing happen. So that's
Little
it.
kitty,
tpublic.com/stores/BRB. Go there, buy things with my face on it.
Big Dan's face, smaller city.
My name's Daniel. I'm 14 years old. I plan on cruising up in the
really
first
thought
round,
my
and the rest
voice
of you are
had
going to be
broken
left
before the age
eating
of
my
14.
dust.
I was wrong.
Obviously not.
Eating my dust.
Yeah,
thanks, Coleman.
Partly through me being busy, but I haven't had time to put new designs up. But there are new designs coming to the store soon as well. There will also be some removed, so you might want to pick them up while they're still there. Also,
don't remove Dan's face.
This is probably a bad thing to mention. I'm updating Dan's face. But there's probably a bad thing to mention. But there was a 25%
I have to update my face to make
code.
sure there's continuity in universe with BRB?
Yes.
Is there any updating my own face I need to do?
No, you'll be all right.
Okay.
But it's your 14-year-old face, so it's okay.
What?
Won't somebody please
there was some. Yeah,
Nice.
as I said, maybe a bad thing to mention, but there was a 25% discount code for UK listeners, for UK residents generally. But it only lasted for 1 day and it ran out yesterday. And I only read the email
Well, then why mention
today.
it?
I know, but hey, I'm bad at advertising. But also,
Right,
what the hell
Tim's
are you
in
doing?
timeout.
Tim, I would argue Tim is worse than bad at advertising. That was actually like negative. So, hey, look, you could have got our stuff for cheaper, but you can't because I've got to mention it to you. I'm so bad at this.
I just realised we actually need him back for Tabletop Tuesday.
We do.
So,
all right, Tim, come back.
There.
Tim. Come on, Tim. Who's a good boy? Who's a good boy? There we go. Tuesday, Tim.
You're relegated to the bottom of the screen, Tim.
It's Thursday, Dan.
No. Tabletop Tuesdays. No, but what happens once a week and the other day that begins with the T?
All the days only happen once a week, Dan.
No, you liked. I'm trying to get you to talk about the thing that you liked, Tim, and that's Tabletop Tuesdays. What happens on the
Just put him in
Tuesday?
timeout again.
Yeah.
For anyone that doesn't know, each and every Tuesday, we're in an event called Tabletop Tuesday at the Loading Bar in Stoke, Newington. Most weeks we have a different feature game, and if you play that feature game that evening, you have a chance to win a copy of the game at the end of the evening. Next week's game is a real doozy. It's one we've already had in the bar for a bit, but we'll be doing as our feature game because we haven't had it as a feature game previously. It is a game called Cluster. It's a really fun, quick to play, quick to learn game. You've got kind of a loop and some magnets, and you've got to lay the magnets in the loop without them clustering together. If they cluster together, you've got to pick them up, and you've got to try and get all of your magnets into the loop to win the game. You've got to be the first one to do that, basically. And yeah, it's a really fun little game. It's really good. It's gone down really well previously. It's one I teach to people regularly because it's a really good little game. So it's one I've been looking forward to getting to for Tabletop Tuesday. And you can come along, play it on the evening, and win a copy to go home with that very evening. So come along on Tuesday. There are more details on the top left-hand corner of BigRedBarrel.com, or there hopefully will be by the time you're not listening to this live, because I didn't get a chance to do it today, aforementioned being very busy at work. But otherwise, you can check the details on our meetup group. I think we are one person short of 2,150 members of our meetup group, if I remember correctly.
Ooh.
So,
have you told them about the 25% discount they can't have?
No, I didn't tell anyone until now.
Evidently, Tim.
It's a secret.
Evidently.
Don't tell anyone, okay?
Guys, there was 50% off drinks at the loading bar in Stoke Newington, but it was last week.
Yeah, Tim was about to get free Xboxes, but that was 3 years ago.
Okay,
sorry.
Good. Or just come along to Tabletop Tuesday at the loading bar in Stoke Newington next Tuesday for our feature game Cluster. Also, I generally been mentioning new hotness at the moment. Game I really love and have got into quite heavily is Star Wars Unlimited. I'm happy to teach that at the moment at Tabletop Tuesdays. I've been doing that for the last few weeks and I'm really enjoying that game. So if that's of interest to you, give me a shout at Tabletop Tuesday at the loading bar in Stoke Newington too.
Excellent.
But what are the limitations of Star Wars Unlimited?
It's completely unlimited.
None.
There are
no limits.
No limits.
Right.
There's no limits.
Tabletop Tuesday at the loading bar in Stoke Newington.
I think Tim needs his microphone privileges taking away again.
Let's just hit this button.
You cannot resist the dicks.
Good. Right, go over. If you've enjoyed the show, you're a weird old folk, but we like you all the same. We love you all the same, and we'd love you even more. If you can go to bigredbarrel.com, that's where we keep our podcast episodes and other things of that ilk. But we've also got a link to our Discord. It is available on the website, and we have a couple of different social media websites available. You can find us on X, Threads, and Facebook at Big Red Barrel. You can also find us on Twitch at Big Red Barrel, which we've kind of taken out of mothballs. And you can find us on YouTube at Big Red Barrel TV. And once again, I spent 2 hours trying to get that name changed to Big Red Barrel, and nothing happening. Google do not like us.
Oh, man.
I swear we already... I've been meaning to mention this to you for, I don't know, a year or so now, but I swear we already own Big Red Barrel on YouTube.
Long story, one for off mic. 25% off last week.
Right.
Anyway,
Excellent.
Get in contact. You can comment on the show. You can give us suggestions. You can maybe recommend some games for us, but also you can ask us questions. And we've got a threer from one person on Twitter. So the man called Ed, he says,
Yes.
I have a question.
Yes.
Now that the Fallout TV show has come and gone and actually been rather good, what games would you think make good TV shows if given the same time and effort that and Tilu, The Last of Us,
Clow.
have had?
Clow.
I don't know if you heard, but this week announced was a Tomb Raider series coming to Prime
I love Tomb
TV,
Raider.
Which Tomb Raider? Yeah, that's much more boring.
Dramatic readings, literally.
Dramatic readings.
Just there, read more.
Inscriptions on
That's me on my tours of Italy.
Pretty boring. No, but Tomb Raider, which I would be less interested in if it wasn't for the fact that the writer and producer is Phoebe Waller-Bridge, who I think that is a good fit that could make for a really good comedy TV series.
Oh, it's going to be woke.
Based around Tomb Raider.
Woke, Tim.
Whatever you do, don't tell Coleman about the new Doctor Who. He will lose his absolute mind.
What?
But yeah.
What the hell happened to Assassin's Creed?
But yeah, I think that's the next one that's on my radar in terms of I think that is that could be a very interesting project now. If it wasn't for that association, I would be less interested in it. But I think that could be fun and good. Have some good British humor to it as well. I think that could be good. But yeah, like I keep on forgetting. Are they making a Ghost of Tsushima movie or
movie?
It's a movie rather than a series, isn't it? I think it'd be better
starring
as a series,
the guy who plays the character from the game.
Yes, that could go bad.
As a movie.
I hope it doesn't.
You can probably guess what I'm gonna. Oh, so you go first, Coleman. Sorry.
Probably Destiny, I reckon.
That's what I was going to say.
Yeah, if you remember the live action Destiny adverts for the first game, and for the second one actually, like that as a TV show, I'd be well up for that.
Well,
but sorry, Dan, I just completely hijacked your answer.
Oh, no,
well for Halo.
but not from the point of view of Guardians. I would actually like it told kind of through the viewpoint of like, the normies who live in the Last City. I think that would be an interesting thing to do, and dig into that period of Destiny. It's like, are these kind of immortal superhumans? Are they actually good or not good?
They're not
who knows?
Usually good.
They're not usually
There's
good.
Also,
yes.
There's a really good opportunity here for guest characters from one Mr. Nathan Fillion. He tends to do shows.
He's a TV person.
He is. What else I would like to see? I think I can rattle a couple off that I think would be good. BioShock,
Go on, then.
I think would be interesting.
Yes,
that'd be a great idea.
Yeah,
we
Mass
almost
Effect.
had a movie by Polanski.
Would you kindly make a TV series?
No, not Polanski.
Yep. Definitely not Polanski. No. Definitely not.
Who's the one?
No.
similar name. I always forget. Oh no, I think it was Gore Verbinski was meant to do BioShock a while ago.
Al Gore, yes.
Al Gore was meant to do BioShock.
Is he the one that did that Russian trilogy thing that I can't remember the name of now?
Sure.
Why not? Why not?
BioShock? What else, Dan?
Mass Effect, I think, would also be good.
Yes, that'd be a good. I'd like to see that.
And maybe
they've been threatening a Mass Effect movie for a long time as well. Yeah, Portal.
Portal would be good. But again, kind of leaning into like the backstory you got a glimpse into in Portal 2. I think that would be really cool.
You've got a perfect casting of J.K. Simmons all ready to go.
Indeed.
Yeah. I'm sure I've answered something similar on the show before, but I would like a comedic series of Monkey Island. I would be well in for that. Or why not an animated cartoon series for children based around Dizzy the Egg?
I really thought you were going to do something very inappropriate there. A comedic cartoon
Gears of
for
War.
children based around Slaughterhouse.
Yeah, why not?
Yeah, or another one popped into my mind, which is kind of quasi-transmedia anyway, but Control would be good as well.
Oh, okay.
That would be a nice TV series.
Oh, there you go. Sorry, someone has already said that. Infamous, but not Second Son. Sorry, the chat moved. There he is. Spiky Chris said that. He also said a Warcraft series would be great, to be honest. Animated or live action. No, I think one movie done by the son of David Bowie. That would do really well in China, and we won't get a sequel.
I was going to stupidly say Batman as a silly answer, but actually, I'd actually like to see an animated series based on the Arkham universe. I think that would be interesting.
Well, yeah. I mean, the idea for the first two Arkham games, very basically in headcanon for Rocksteady, was this is a continuation of the animated series, but it's all got very messed up along the way. It's matured. But then the other two games kind of ruined that that idea, I think. Yeah, that's a lot of stuff.
I would also like to see Metal Gear, just to see people go,
Metal Gear. We're getting a movie.
What?
Oscar Isaacs.
Oh my God.
Does it have a smoking monkey, though?
Got an Oscar Isaacs.
Oscar
He'll probably smokes because it's Metal Gear.
Okay.
Sorry, I did promise a 3-part question out of this. He said, also speaking of The Last of Us, has there been any adaptation of a game that you vastly preferred to actually playing it? I'd watch the Last of Us TV show 5 times over before I ever load that cursed game up again.
Wow.
For me, it's actually Fallout. Because considering how much of that TV show is based off of Fallout 4, I much prefer the TV show, and I'm playing Fallout 4 right now. So
I love Fallout 3 more than Fallout 4, but yes, I did prefer the TV series to Fallout 4 as well. But I think the best answer for that is The Last of Us. Like, I much prefer the TV series to the game, just because I didn't like the game mechanically, but I liked the universe and the setting. So I think that's the best answer I have, basically.
Yeah.
Also Mario, but you know.
Which
I did like that Mario movie.
The Bob Hoskins one,
right?
Bob Hoskins, obviously.
Yeah.
No.
All the time.
Yeah. But no, the Bob Hoskins one is absolutely abysmal. But no.
What?
The latest
Wash your dirty
Pratt
mouth
one,
out, Tim.
I actually prefer to most of the Mario games, with the possible exception of the one that was on Switch, the launch one on Switch. Yeah. I can't remember the name.
Last part of the question. Nice quick one, I reckon. Also, do you reckon the new Borderlands movie will be good or tripe?
I think we answered this before, no? I think it's going to be good fun for people that aren't fans of the game.
I think it's going to be good tripe.
Mm-hmm.
There is.
We shall see.
Have you ever had to eat tripe?
Yeah, let's not talk about that. I understand why people didn't like the,
I
the movie
never accidentally
adaptations.
touched on something scarring for Coleman. No, don't make me wait. Don't make me think about it. I don't want to know. Just no tripe.
I understand why people didn't like the movie adaptations of the last Tomb Raider movie or Uncharted or
they were fun.
The Warcraft movie, but I enjoyed all 3 of those movies a great deal. So
fair enough.
Yeah. So I'm hoping it's more like that kind of end of it rather than, I don't know, Prince of Persia or Assassin's Creed.
Yeah. Dungeons and Dragons.
Remember those?
Slightly veering.
Oh, that's good.
Video. That was good. I enjoyed that.
That was all right.
fun.
I like that.
Yeah, I like that.
I like that. Gelatinous Cube.
Yeah.
Good that. Yeah.
There's
Some
also
good-
Gelatinous
Some
Cube
good
is
references
also
for
Coleman's
people that
stripper
like
name.
the games and a general fun movie for those that didn't. So, yeah, I liked it.
Right. I think we should go, as Coleman's sense of humour rapidly evaporates. That's usually the sign for us wrapping this show up. So let's go and do that. Thank you for listening. Make sure you check out the show notes for all the places of the internet that you should go visit, which include where, Coleman? Tell me where on the internet people should go again.
Once again, bigredbarrel.com is our website. You can find us on our social medias, Facebook, X, and Threads at Big Red Barrel. We're available on Twitch at Big Red Barrel. We're available on YouTube, Big Red Barrel TV, and you can find a a Discord. The link is available in the show notes and also available on the website Big Red Barrel.
Yep, indeed. So thank you for listening. Go check out those places on the internet. Leave us a lovely review if you feel so inclined, or just a review would also be lovely as well. We will be back
17 reviews.
We will be back next week. And And so, yeah, you're going to have to put up with this all over
Although
again.
I should possibly say at this juncture, I will be back next week, but that'll be my last podcast for a month. I'll be taking a month off the podcast. So
yes, we are locking Tim in a box. Is what we're going to do.
It's the first time
I've
ever taken any time off the podcast other than like having a week off for a particular reason. But yeah, I will be away for a month. So yes,
we will. We're basically going to put Tim in a box with pictures of menus, and he's just going to be there, just not knowing what to do with himself. He'll be there living his best life, is what's going to happen.
Menu of menus.
Yep. So
just realised I didn't have a dun 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 button that I thought would be good for Tim saying it was his last show ever.
So we're gonna finish.
No promises.
We're finishing this here show up, so thank you for tuning in. Thank you for downloading us or just generally watching us or listening to us. We will be back next week to celebrate putting Tim in a box, and then he's going to go into hibernation. We're going to put him in the loft, and then he'll come back a new man is what's going to happen. But until
we don't need Tim, we got a soundboard.
I haven't had more than 3 balls, but you can have 3 balls at once. Thanks, Coleman.
You're welcome.
Make me feel loved.
All that's left is for us to remind you that I've been Dan.
I might have been Tim.
I've been an amazing live action movie by Duncan Jones of Warcraft.
Great.
I don't think you have.
Or a cat in a hat.
Yeah,
probably that.
Big kitty, little city.
So thank you for listening, and until next time, dear listeners.
Little kitty,
Toodle bye.
Big Jeff.
Your ears are quite welcome for the podcasting goodness that you just heard. Why not roll on over to BigRedBarrel.com for more podcasts, news, reviews, and videos from the biggest, reddest site on the internet, BigRedBarrel.com.
It's probably now a brouhaha. I would say it was a dumpster fire for a while. Okay, so I think we've got we got a schmozzle, and malarkey, and a brouhaha, and a dumpster fire, and then a cluster fudge.
Am I having a stroke? What's happening?
I don't